everybody, welcome to my Suburban Oasis. My name's Soleil and I garden in a Zone 5B in mid-Michigan, and today I am bringing to you a mail order plant haul. This year I had ordered some plants from Hertz Gardens and they were quart pots and they were small shrubs, and they didn't make it because I failed to take care of them properly. They got a lot of rain, and then we got like a super hard freeze, and I knew that they were going to be just drowned out, but I should have taken them into the garage and I didn't. So anyhow, that's on me. But I saw another great sale this time of year, and it was at Great Garden Plants, and so I thought I'd take advantage of it because their quart pots were on sale. So here's what we got. All right, now I know you guys know how much I love hydrangeas, so you'll see a few of those in this haul for sure. And the first one that I have here is the Firelight Tidbit. So these are very small quart-sized pots, but these are going to be great for me to get in the ground and kind of grow on a little bit. I'm actually probably not going to plant them directly into the garden beds, but I'm probably going to find a spot for them in my potager garden just to grow on over the next year, and then transplant them out probably next fall. So anyways, this very first one that I have is the Firelight Tidbit, which is so cute. This is a picture of it. So this is a small one. This one is one of the more petite panicle hydrangeas that there are. This one gets 2 to 3 feet tall and 2 to 3 feet wide, and it is hardy down to zone 3 and up to zone 8. So the great thing about hydrangeas for me is that being in a zone 5B, anything that's hardy down to zone 3, as long as it can handle wet winters, it can stay in a pot over winter. And I've done this with many hydrangeas, and they've been just fine. So the Firelight Tidbit is super cute because they also turn a beautiful color, and I love my Firelight, but this one is going to be smaller. So this one can fit into a lot of different spaces, and one of the things that they say about this is that it does have low deer resistance, and I would agree with that. I think a lot depends on what your deer like to eat in your area. Some areas deer like certain things over others. I don't know why. In my garden, these are more deer resistant than things like hostas, but they definitely do have a low deer resistance. So if I plant these in my front garden, I have to spray them. But these are going to be gorgeous. They provide a couple of different seasons worth of color, and I absolutely love them in the fall. So I'm looking forward to growing this smaller variety on. Next up, we have another hydrangea, and this one is also a beautiful pink colored hydrangea. This one is a smooth hydrangea, however, Hydrangea arborescens. This is the Incredible Blush. So Incredible Blush is again a smooth hydrangea, which means it is a native hydrangea related to the Annabelle, and it blooms this beautiful pink color. And this one is a larger hydrangea. So this one grows 4 to 5 feet tall and wide. This one's also hardy down to zone 3 and then all the way up to zone 8. And this one also does not have good deer resistance, but this will grow in full sun all the way down to potentially like part shade if you're in a hotter zone. So this one, again, 4 to 5 feet tall and wide. So a really nice sized shrub. Definitely very similar in size to the Incredible hydrangeas that are white. So I'm looking forward to growing this one on and having a different color. All right, a whole nother variety is yews. So these are also not deer resistant in my area, so these will have to be within my back garden where I don't get the deer, or I will have to continue to protect them. And these yews are special in that they grow as vertical accents, so they stay rather skinny just like this, and they grow straight up like a pencil. And these are called Stonehedge Skinny Yews. And these are evergreen, and they are hardy down to zone 4 and up to zone 7. So they have a little bit smaller of a hardiness range. These only get 6 to 8 feet tall, which is fairly small for a yew, but even better, they only get 1 foot wide. So if you have a small space where you need a skinny evergreen bush to provide some height and structure in your garden beds, this is a fantastic variety. These definitely like to grow in sun, but they can also go all the way down to part shade or shade, and they are good in all, I mean, they look good all year round, right? These are evergreens, so spring, summer, fall, winter, these are going to be beautiful. And yeah, I can't wait to try these out in the garden. I have a great idea of where I might plant these. These may be a variety that I actually do plant out this fall, but I haven't decided yet. I still have so many decisions to make about what I'm doing in my garden this fall, and like today's the first day of fall, so I need to start making some decisions for sure. All right, next up, this one is fairly healthy, but it does have some yellowing leaves on it, and that's because we just got like a pretty good rain here actually, and I think this really needs to come out of its container. So once it does, I think it'll be a lot happier. This is a tiny Quickfire. And it's interesting, this is a panicle hydrangea. This one is a much deeper green on its leaves than any of the other ones that arrived in the packaging. So I don't know if this was grown with some additional fertilizer in it or what. But at this point, I am going to grow it on some more before I plant it out because it is a rather small specimen. So the great thing about tiny Quickfire is it does fire up quick, right? It's one of the earliest blooming hydrangeas that are out there, and being a panicle hydrangea, it can take full sun and it can be fairly drought resistant. This one also is hardy down to zone 3 all the way up to zone 8, just like all other paniculata hydrangeas. And this one is, again, one of the earliest bloomers. I'm not sure this one is going to get as deep of a color based on the picture as my regular Quickfire. So this being the tiny Quickfire, I wonder if any of you have grown that, what your experience has been. Will it get as dark of blooms in the fall? Because I really love that deep, rich color that my Quickfire has. But anyhow, one of the benefits of this one is because it's tiny Quickfire, it actually gets 1.5 to 3 feet tall, which I think can really depend based on where you plant it and your soil and growing conditions, and 2 to 3 feet wide. So it'll be a nice compact shrub, great for smaller gardens as well, nice for even close to the front of the border. And this does like sun, so 6+ hours of full sun, or maybe if you're in a really hot climate, like up in zone 8, you might want to put it more like 4 to 6 hours of sun. But that'll help ensure that it gives you a really nice bloom. All right, next up, we have surprise another hydrangea, but this one I've been looking for a while and I haven't seen it in our stores here. So that's part of why I did mail order this year, because a lot of these are hard to find for me. So this is a Quickfire Fab Panicle Hydrangea. And Quickfire Fab is a very rich looking color after it turns colors. And this one is, as I said, a panicle hydrangea. So again, this one will be hardy all the way down to zone 3. And again, good from like part shade to sun. So depending on your growing climate. So, you know, if you're not sure, plant it, watch it for the first year, determine whether it likes its planting spot, and if not, you can move it. Okay, that's one of the wonderful things about gardening. So this one does get bigger though. This one is a 6 to 8 foot tall and 5 to 6 foot wide variety. So probably about the same size as the Firelight, but this one is called Quickfire Fab, so it is supposed to, you know, add that color to its blooms very quickly in the season. This one, as other hydrangeas are, is a low deer tolerance, so just keep that in mind. But it looks like it's going to have beautiful color, and I've been looking for this one for a while, so I'm excited to have it. All right, now back down to a smaller specimen, which for whatever reason, I don't have the tag for this one. I'm not sure that it came with one. Maybe it did and I lost it, but this is a mini Mauvet. So I'm really excited about this. This is an arborescens variety, so a smooth Annabelle-like hydrangea, similar to the Incredible. And this one will be kind of a deep pink, almost red color. And I love that color. That color is one of my favorite colors to have in the garden because it's nice and rich and it just is so saturated that I enjoy it so much. It pops against the green and I just think it looks lovely. So this one, I'm gonna have to look it up, but I think it gets 1 to 2 feet tall and wide. Let me grab my phone. Okay, so Invincible Mini Mauvette. As I said, it's a smooth hydrangea and it is super fantastic because it doesn't get super huge. So just like the other hydrangeas, it's hardy all the way down to zone 3 up to zone 8, and it actually gets a little bigger than I thought, so 2.5 to 3 feet tall and wide. So it's a nice size shrub, but it doesn't get quite as big as like the Incredible. And I'm looking forward to using this one kind of towards the front of the border as well. But I did only get one of them and I'm kind of bummed. I might want to have 2 of them. But kind of the cool thing about trying these out in this size is I can not spend a ton of money, grow them on, see how they look, and then decide if I want additional ones of, you know, 1 of them or 2 of them or 3 of them. Because once you decide that you really like a shrub or a plant, it's often fun to kind of incorporate it into different spots in the garden. One other thing to know about this one is it is a full sun to part shade plant. So pretty much all of these hydrangeas will do well in that type of setting. Also, they like moist but well-drained soil. They don't like to sit in wet soil. Their roots are very fine, and so they do have a tendency to rot out if you overwater them too much. So that is one thing that you have to watch out for in containers, is making sure that you keep them moist, but you don't want to oversaturate this soil to the point where it's really thick and heavy. One other thing to let you know is that the Mini Mauvette, the Incredible Blush, and oh my gosh, I almost forgot about, I have one other plant to show you. Those are, those bloom on new wood, just like the panicle hydrangeas, so you don't have to worry about chopping them off and not getting blooms. That's the other thing that's nice is with a plant that is low deer resistance, if the deer do come and nip off the ends and it blooms on new wood, you still have a chance of getting a bloom later on that season. Oh my gosh, I almost missed this one, but this one I'm really excited about. This is Tiny Tuff Stuff. Now, Tiny Tuff Stuff is a reblooming mountain hydrangea. I'm going to show you the picture on the back here. It's kind of a lace cap variety of a bloom. So Hydrangea serrata, or mountain hydrangea. These are a little bit less hardy. Sometimes they're hardy down to zone 4, but this one is rated as a zone 5 to 9. And this one stays really small. This one is 1.5 to 2 feet tall and wide. And again, moist but well-drained soil. That's just kind of the preference of pretty much every single hydrangea out there. And then sun to part shade. And again, that will just really depend on the kind of location in which you plant it. The cool thing about this one, you guys, is I'm already seeing some change in color on the leaves. So this is probably going to give us a little bit of that really deep, it's almost like a blue, purple, red that the leaves take on in the fall with that cooler weather. So that could be really, really beautiful. Anyhow, I'm going to get these planted out, like I said, into my potager garden because I think that's going to be a nice holding area for them. I do have an area where I grow on some strawberries and it's not full. And I don't think I'm going to plant it with vegetables. I'm going to try to eventually kind of fill that entire bed full of strawberries maybe. I don't know. Sometimes I'm not even sure what I'm going to do in different garden areas until I actually just make the decision. So I wonder if you guys are like that at all. Do you plan all of your garden beds, or do you sometimes just all of a sudden decide this is what you're going to do and just go for it? All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this video today and seeing some of these wonderful hydrangeas. And, you know, check out Great Garden Plants. These did arrive in a really nice container. They were well protected. You'll notice that some of them have been cut off at the top, And what I'll say about that is they do describe in their brochure that they send out with this, that they do that to ensure that they're really well branched for you and that they continue to grow on. So they have that really thick, lush look. A lot of times these type of plants are sent out to growers to put into like a 1 gallon container so that they can get into that 1 gallon. So these would maybe be sold like next season instead of this season. But it's a perfect opportunity to trial some plants in your garden and see what they look like and how you like them at a great price point. And again, they were packaged really well. They arrived really quickly based on when I ordered them and how quickly they shipped out. You can usually pick the date you want to have them shipped, or they'll pick the best date for you. So that way you can kind of time out when you want to plant things. And I did request that they send them out to me in middle of September, and that's exactly what they did. And yeah, so it was a great experience for me. All right, well, thanks again for watching this video. I hope you saw some new plants, or if not, just heard a little bit of something new about some of these, and maybe got some ideas about some things that you want to grow, or maybe even are thinking about going to Great Garden Plants and buying some for yourself. Have a great rest of your day, guys. See you next time.